The journey is conversations with ordinary people about stories of transformation and how we may have had setbacks in our life and how we persevered through those, how we've learned from those obstacles, and how they've maybe helped us on our path today.
Well, welcome to the journey. My name is Kevin Polky, and I am the host of the journey. And today we're going to do something that we haven't done for a while, and that is a reflection. And today's reflection is on the idea of transformation. I think in our society today, there's a lot of emphasis and pressure on how to appear or look like everything's okay. Regardless if that's on social media or if that's in the media, that this idea of being able to expose one's setbacks or to admit that someone has made a mistake or done something wrong or didn't get something right is usually seems to be not encouraged. It seems like that there is this increased pressure uh, to look a certain way in the eyes of others. And this, I think that then we build in this process of either one, not taking risks out of our comfort zone, and so that we can possibly hedge our bets in that we will be able to perform within our comfort zone and do well, or that we don't maybe share all aspects or all stories of how something may have happened. We can find ourselves in a situation um, where we may be interacting with somebody or something in more of a transactional way, where this transaction is, if I do blank, I will receive something. And I don't know, in my life, it doesn't necessarily work that way. I think it is much more that when there are setbacks, when there's ordeals, um, how can I look at that setback or ordeal as a teacher, as an opportunity for growth, as an opportunity for me to develop and become the person that God has intended me to be. So I think of something that I just recently posted about in Nature, about this idea of caterpillars transforming into butterflies. This quote by Anthony, I'm going to totally massacre this gentleman's last name, Guardo. The butterfly does not look back at the caterpillar in shame, just as you should not look back at your past in shame. Your past was part of your own transformation. Let me read that again. The butterfly does not look back at the caterpillar in shame, just as you should not look back at your past in shame. Your past was part of your own transformation. I think of this idea that a butterfly doesn't shame who they used to be, what they used to be prior to this transformation, and that they look at it that was a natural part of what we needed to go through to get to where we're at now. And I think of when, when we're going through either struggles of growing up or struggles in young adulthood, as we're going through those awkward, cumbersome times, that those were part of the story that we then reflect back on when we're in our 30s, 40s, and 50s, as if that was a stage that was critical for us to get to where we're at now. That the idea of transforming into who we are supposed to be is the idea that this is lifelong journey of being able to discover who this is, and it's an ongoing process. There's not necessarily an arrival time period. I was reintroduced to this idea that there's a metaphor or a philosophy that has a Buddhist background in Japan, where they would take something that was sacred, something that was seen of great value that may have a crack or may have a broken piece. It could be a vessel, it could be a piece of pottery, and that they would bring the broken piece back into where it was supposed to be, and then use some type of precious metal. Maybe it was utilizing platinum or silver or gold, and that would outline where the crack or the imperfection was. In other words, it would take something that was broken, and then it would then join it together with this gold or platinum or precious metal to show that it has greater value because it was broken, and now it shows the character and tells a bigger story. So it's this idea of a metaphor of embracing imperfections and flaws, and finding comfort and serenity even in difficult events. This idea that that if we continue to look at that, when we have setbacks, when we have challenges, when we have opportunities to stretch ourselves out of our comfort zone, it doesn't have to be done perfectly. We just have to continue making progress and moving forward and learning from what the experience has been. So this idea that either from Ryan Holiday's, as he talks about in Stoicism, as the obstacle is the way, that the obstacle is actually the teacher that will help us transform and become stronger or wiser or improved, more so than if the obstacle wasn't there at all. Or from this idea of the caterpillar transforming into the beautiful butterfly that we so celebrate, or the piece of pottery or vessel that was once seen precious for how it was formed, now that it has been cracked or broken or has a flaw, is then celebrated by bringing it together with precious metals to emphasize those cracks. Maybe any one of those three ideas could also be how we could look at life for ourselves as we face obstacles and challenges in our life. How can we look at those as opportunities for growth? As always, I appreciate an opportunity to be with you, and look forward to being with you next week.